This is the Jose Soto Show. You are listening to Jose Soto. It is September 6th, 2012. Oh, God, just 3 days before my birthday. I really hate that. Just keep getting older and older and older. But anyway, we homos don't like getting older. Once you're past 30, it's over, right? Party's over. Well, that's what we're led to believe. You see, the gay media tells us through their movies and stuff like that, can be gay over 30. That's insane. That's a sin, right? That's basically committing crime, basically. It's a crime to be gay over 30. I know I'm exaggerating, but that's how I feel sometimes when I see some of these gay magazines and what's hot, what's not. And so that's the impression I get. I don't know. Anyway, so today was the conclusion of the Democratic National Committee, the National Convention, which was sponsored by the National Committee. And we saw the faces and the likes of Joe Biden, Bill Clinton. I wonder why Hillary didn't show up. What was she doing this week? But she stayed. She pretty much stayed away from that place. So, but we saw a lot of good people there, though. We saw Zach Walz. Remember that guy? Zach Walz. He is the guy from that video that went viral. He was from Iowa, and he was defending his lesbian moms in this speech. And now he has written a book called My Two Moms. I think you can buy it off of Amazon. Yes, I'm doing a plug for Mr. Walz. I think it's kind of cool. He's a cool guy. So he had the opportunity to address the Democratic National Convention. And he addressed the issue of gay marriage, and he did a very good job, in my own opinion. The worst speech, I think, in my opinion, was, well, there were many really bad speeches. I didn't get to see everything. I had other things to do, but I did get to see Barney Frank, and I think that was the worst speech by a gay man I've ever seen in my life from a convention like this, and he was spouting off and mumbling around. Wasn't there a picture that was circulating the internet? Barney Frank with a belt around his neck. I wonder what he was doing with that. Yeah, he's probably getting freaky with his new husband. Try a little asphyxiation. You know, there are guys that are into that kind of shit to get turned on and they masturbate while they are getting asphyxiated. Well, a lot of people who tried this have died, so I recommend Barney Frank not to do that unless he wants to die. And I know he has a little bit life still left, whatever. So, yeah, I think he was pretty much the low point of the whole gay genre of the Democratic National Convention. And we had Tommy Baldwin. She's running for U.S. Senate. She's the openly lesbian congresswoman from Wisconsin, and she is heading to the race against Tommy Thompson, who was the former Wisconsin governor. He's a fascist reactionary, basically, and Tammy Baldwin is not that. I wouldn't say she's the optimum, but a little better than the other guy. But the highlight has been, of course, Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. Oh, B.J. Clinton. Bill Jefferson Clinton. I'm talking about Bill Jefferson Clinton. B.J. Clinton. Well, he had a very extraordinary speech. I would say it was very extraordinary. He was very poignant. And basically tear the Republicans apart. Now, does that mean that the Democrats are even better? I guess not. Because we have to look at the past 4 years, not even that. But if we want to look at the past 4 years, you have to look at what they didn't do, not just what they did. Because all they can say is, "Oh, this is what we did. This is what we did." We saved 1 million jobs. We saved a lot of jobs, and then we had the job zone, and then we passed Obamacare, and then we healthcare reform. That's what to say. All right. So, and then there was this student, this Latina, and the headline says that she is an LGBT Latina. She spoke at the convention. Really? Wow. She is an LGBT Latina. Did you get that? That's what she said in her speech. I am an LGBT Latina. I am an LGBT Latina. You know, LGBT. Why would somebody call themselves LGBT? Just say I'm a lesbo. I'm a homo. If I was up there and that stage, I would be like, "Hi, I'm Jose Soto, and I'm a proud homo Latino." You get that? Homo Latino, homosexual. That means I do guys. I sleep with guys. You know, I have sex with them, and oral sex, anal sex, sometimes. You know. And then the guy will never call me. I was going to a little rant. LGBT Latina, what does that mean? I mean, are you also well, she's a lesbian, maybe. She looks like a girl. Fully a girl, right? She's not a transgender, so that doesn't mean that she's a T. Is she bisexual? Maybe she did some couple guys in high school. I don't know. Is she a gay man? I don't think she is. But she is LGBT. Get that straight. No pun intended, but get it straight. She's an LGBT Latina. Hi, everybody. I just want to say, I'm an LGBT Latina. If you didn't get that, okay? And I'm a student. I'm studying horticulture. Oh, great. She's studying pussy, that's what she... Getting down on that pussy. If you know what I mean. So there were cheers and jeers and all that, and I got to see the final part of the convention, though. I got to see that homophobe, what's his face, Timothy Dolan, the cardinal, the Vatican operative. Oh, he was talking about how, God bless Mittens Romney and the RNC and Paul Ryan. Of course, Paul Ryan, you have to. Paul Ryan, he's a Vatican operative who is very sympathetic to the Mormon cause, which is, of course, domination of the country and total destruction of it. And Mormons have still want to legalize polygamy. If you don't believe me, research it, do your homework. And but this cardinal was all up there, and I thought there was going to be a huge protest. I thought the delegates, were pro-gay and everything. I thought they were going to leave, walk out and say, "Oh, fuck this shit." Oh, but Joe Jervis, you see, it's impossible for me not to read a tweet from Joe Jervis once in a while. And the reason being is because even though I unfollowed him the time that he tried to insult me, that was years ago, but he is still lingering around my Twitter dashboard. Why? Because there are other mindless drones who continue to retweet his shit. And really, I don't want to see his shit. I don't. But then he says something to the tone of, "Oh, fuck Cardinal Dolan, fuck him in the motherfucking ear," something like that. Oh, really? That's gonna sound good, isn't it? Why don't we just say what he is? I mean, if you expose somebody for what that person is, for instance, I exposed Tony Perkins, the head of the Family Research Council, as somebody who used to work in government, in the federal in the federal government as a federal agent. He used to work in counterterrorism with the Homeland Security Department, and that kind of brings a little red flag right there with regards to the shooting that happened at his headquarters in Washington, D.C. And people ask me, oh, why do you believe that the shooting at the Family Research Council was a stage event? Well, because somebody with the resume that Mr. Perkins has. You see, I call him Mr. Perkins. I don't have to call him a motherfucker. I don't have to do that. All I have to do is expose. And Timothy Dolan, the head of the Catholic bishops, what is he anyway? He's a spy for the Vatican. Did you know that the Vatican has their own CIA, their own spying? Yeah, they have their own spies and their spy agency to go and spy and obstruct all these other governments to, again, regain control. Remember, throughout history, kings and queens and emperors have fought the Vatican because the Vatican has always tried to maintain control of Europe, and whoever controlled Europe controlled the world when we had massive, in-your-face imperialism and colonialism. Okay, so who is Timothy Dolan? He is a Vatican operative. He's a Jesuit priest, or he used to be. I mean, if you just look at these people's history and resume and what they have done, you can expose them for who they are. And but the funny part was that when he went out there and did his his prayer or whatever the hell that was, it was more like a speech defending Mitt Romney, defending the Republican Party. So how can the Democrats be there attacking the Republicans and having their main cheerleader, I mean, that's who he is. He's a cheerleader for the Republicans, come in and do a prayer at the end of the show. It's kind of suspicious, isn't it? Of course it is. Reason being because the Vatican operates within the two parties. They know that they can get a lot of things done through the Republicans, and they have done so many times, especially concerning abortion and all that, gay marriage. And they use the Democrats to get what they need, which is to open up the borders, let in more Catholics into the country. People don't know that. I mean, look, I am for immigration reform, and I'm all in for helping immigrants. But here's the thing: the Vatican has a different agenda. Most of these immigrants who are coming from Mexico are Catholic, or they pretend to be Catholic. Let's just say that. And the Vatican, let's just say that the Vatican has a specific interest in getting those immigrants, Mexicans and all over Latin America, other Latinos, into the United States. Alright? There's an interest. Is to gain Catholic power over the government of the United States, over our politics. And we don't need that. So if you're wondering why this person, Cardinal, Dolan, Timothy Dolan, appeared magically like the Dark Knight. Hello, little one. Like Count Dracula. Hi, I am Cardinal Timothy Dolan, and I'm here to suck your blood. And of course he appeared because you should know why. I don't need to tell you. Or do I need to tell you? It's not because of compromising or anything like that. It's all bullshit. Parties work together. Both parties work together. And I understand that some gay people are supporting the Democrats. Oh, because they support gay marriage, they support gay rights and women's rights and all this other bullshit. But then you compare what they say to what has actually been happening. And we can go back to North Carolina, not that long ago. You want to know what happened during that week? Alright, well, stay tuned. We're going to take a little break, but when we come back, I'm going to help you decipher from fantasy and reality. Okay? Decipher and separate the two. reality and fantasy. So what we saw today was basically a novella. It's all fantasy, it's all BS. Promises, but yet no delivery. Alright, let's take a short little break and we will be right back after these short messages. Alright, so some of you have said, look, Jose, the Democrats have now changed their platform, or added to their platform, gay marriage, and to support it. But here's the thing, and I've been getting this from both sides, reactionaries and liberals, who are saying that, wait a minute, platforms don't really matter. They're worthless, they're pieces of shit. That's what they're saying. In other words, they think that you and I are stupid enough to believe that. Then if you say that platforms are meaningless and they don't mean anything, why even have one? Now here's what I think. I think that what they're saying is actually the truth. Doesn't mean shit. If you look at the Republican platform, it has a lot of really anti-gay shit. And if you speak to a rank and file Republican and you ask him, do you believe that gays are a threat to the nation? They will say, no, probably not. Then why is it in their platform? It's because you have certain committed activists like Tony Perkins, or in the Democratic side you had these gay activists. And you had other activists and people who are hardcore volunteers who have worked really hard for the Democratic Party, and they say, this is what we want in the platform, and they get it in the platform committee. Platform committee is filled with people with the same mindset that they worked hard, this is what their values are, and the people in the Republican Party who set up the platform are all hardcore hacks and activists and fanatics who really had it in. And they worked really hard, they worked long hours, they gave a lot of money, and now it's time for payback. It's time for them to be vindicated. It's time for something to be returned to them, which is, of course, a veneration of their values. And some of these, most of these hardcore base of the Republican Party, they are all anti-gay, anti-American. These Baptist, Southern conservatives, reactionary Confederates, neo-Confederates, who really hate America. They still believe that the Union is trying to get one at them. Civil War has been gone for more than 150 years, so it's time to grow up. We can't leave that behind. Now, what happened today at the DNC, actually this past couple of days, we had the Democrats approve the platform with the gay marriage amendment, or the gay marriage platform plank, saying that they support marriage equality. Then we had this headline here, many gay bigwigs attended, many gay bigwigs. And when I first heard this, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was imagining some drag queens that were probably bust in with big old bigwigs. Big ass bigwigs. But another article here that it was posted on the Gay Report, and people don't know about this, is that the Utah Dems, the Democrats from the state of Utah, which is the Mormon state, the 51st nation, that's what the 51st state, that's what I call it. It's not even a state. It doesn't even belong in America, because they don't want to be part of America. If you look at their theology, Mormons don't have a very bright view of America. And this article is really interesting. It's up on the gayreport.net, and you can go ahead and look at it. Utah Dems split on gay marriage. You have a few Democrats there from Utah who are like, nah, I don't think we like this gay marriage thing. And they're Democrats, by the way. And it doesn't matter because if it's Utah, that's all we need to know. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican. Just that the Republican Party gives you more of a permission, more leeway to be anti-gay and all that. So our friends over at Back to Stonewall, Will Kohler, I think that's his name. Did I forget his name? I'm really bad with names, so if I mispronounce your name or I say your name wrong, forgive me, but just bear with me here. But we are Back to Stonewall, and they were saying we should protest a prayer by anti-gay Archbishop Timothy Dolan, which I already kind of talked about. It didn't happen. So we had Baldwin, Tammy Baldwin, who's running for U.S. Senate, openly lesbian congresswoman. Also gave a speech. I didn't see it. And so it was, some people said it was alright. So, whatever. That race is 50-50 though. It's 50-50. Then we have, then her opponent, Tommy Thompson, who is the former governor of Wisconsin. Reactionary right-wing fascist. I mean, that's what he is. I don't know why are Republicans nominating these people. Look, the Republican Party was never about destroying the safety net and the social safety net for our country. You see, to have a country, you have to have a civilization, and to have a civilization, you have to have infrastructure. And this is what I agree with Democrats. But Democrats don't do shit about it. They don't. I mean, they're talking about, we're gonna build this, we're gonna do that, and we need more time, and Barack Obama needs more time, and all this crap. Where is it? I mean, you had 4 years to do all this shit. Where are the roads? Where are the new high-speed rail lines that were promised? What happened to that? What happened to working on free energy, getting off the oil and all that? I'm all for that if that's the future, which will be good if we're able to tap into free energy. People and scientists are working on that, with this whole antimatter thing, and discovered many new things with the CERN atom smasher. They discovered how basically you can build a black hole, how you can build antimatter. Some people were freaking out that that was going to make a huge black hole and sink the Earth into it. That didn't happen, obviously, but there's new technologies ahead, new things to figure out. But we do have oil in our country, though. There's a lot of oil reserves here. I mean, there are places where you can dig right now and pump all your oil that you need. But we're not doing that. It's not because of the environment. There are ways to pump oil, and there are ways not to pump oil. There are ways to dig for coal and burn coal, and there are ways not to do it. Right now, we're blaming the oil and the coal for pollution instead of just finding ways not to pollute the air or the water or the land. Instead of talking about pollution, what do we talk about now? Oh, global warming. That's what we're talking about now. Fuck pollution. Oh, what about radiation levels are rampantly rising in this country, creating havoc, and a lot more people now, 1,000 times more people today are dying of cancer, getting diagnosis of cancer. Why? Because there's a huge swell of radiation going on in this country. Why don't we talk about that? Why can't Democrats speak and talk about these real issues? Let's talk about the food supply. The fact that there's no food in the country. There's no food supply. If we stop producing food tomorrow, we only have food supply for everybody for 4 days. So imagine if something were to happen, if our electric grid goes down, if there's a big, huge solar flare, or like a small comet or a meteoroid comes over and creates havoc. 4 days of food. That's what we have. But other countries like Israel, they have tons of food. South Africa even has food, and believe me, it's Africa, and they're starving, but they have reserves of food. Brazil has food reserves. We don't. Why aren't we talking about that? Let's talk about obesity. And I know people are talking about that. Michelle Obama, talk about obesity, and then she goes out and eats a big old burger that's bigger than her fucking face. Oh, really? That's really gonna help people, right? Do as I say, but not as I do. Well, people are not talking about obesity. Yes, we are saying, well, it's your people's fault. It's the people who are fat. It's their fault. No, because in the past, people were not fat like today. Why? And we still have sort of the same lifestyle, except we have more leisure time because we have more technology. But technology should help us. And we're not finding the cure for obesity. But we're not talking about why people are getting fat. That there's a huge increase in meat consumption. That means the more meat you eat, the more chances of you're getting fat. Also, there's a lot of this going. There's a high fructose corn syrup that has been basically swapped for sugar, for real sugar. In the past, we used to make our food from real sugar. In the past, we used to have real maple syrup that we can put on top of our pancakes. Now we don't have that anymore. And if you do, it's like $9 for a small bottle of maple syrup. But then they sell this cheap stuff for 99 cents that all these poor people and lower middle class people, working class people are buying, not knowing that high fructose corn syrup can lead to diabetes, can lead to obesity and cancer. Nobody's talking about this shit. But I am. And I will continue to talk about this. Democrats don't. Oh no, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. And you gay Democrats think that you know everything, that you are. Come on, please give me a fucking break, okay? You're not breaking ice with me. You're not freaking me out. All right. And these fucking gay Democrats, yes, they're salivating, they're wetting in their panties and having orgasms because of Barack Obama or Michelle or any of these people. It's all a theater show. It's all masterfully put together in like a script. And in fact, it's all scripted, obviously. It's not like Obama went up there and he just instantaneously said what was in his heart and his mind and what really matters to him and the American people. No, he had it all scripted out. Now, let's talk about the LGBT issues. I already went kind of a little bit with the health issues, whatever, and they're touting this healthcare reform, Obamacare. But then they forgot something. They forgot the LGBT issues, right? They did. They obviously did. They forgot that, one of our biggest constituents that we serve, well, that's what they say, that they serve gay people, right? We are their biggest constituents. And what have they done for us? Let me ask you this. Democrats have been in power, and I'm not saying that the Republicans are going to be better. No, I'm not saying that. It's just that a lot of gay people who are Democrats are being so complacent. They think that, he did a speech. Now, Obama came out for gay marriage, which was all bullshit because he was for gay marriage ever since 1996. It's just that he kept, lying about it, right? He lied about it. It was all bullshit. But you gay Democrats have become complacent. You don't care anymore. You take whatever bullshit they throw at you. Every crumb, you eat it like if it's your last meal. Settle down and scrutinize these people. Don't just take their words for it. Don't just say, okay, now you add it to the platform. Forget about it. It's all done. Nothing to see here. Don't worry, we added gay marriage to the platform, and everything's fine. Everything's good to go. You ready? And they think that the rest of us, the working class gay Americans, that we're going to take their bullshit, that we're actually going to swallow this garbage, right? That we are going to say, oh, well, now they support gay marriage in their platform, now we're going to have to bow down to their whim, even though they have not delivered, right? Well, anyway, let's take a short little break, and I'll go into that in a bit. So don't go away. We'll take a short little break, and we'll be right back after these short messages. Alright, so during the convention, I guess it was today, the Democrats played this video about how they were very successful with LGBT issues, right? So they played this video, and let's go ahead and play this video. It's called Stronger Together, Gay Marriage, 2012. So it's about gay marriage. All right. Now this is why I believe that Obama was full of shit on gay marriage. He supported it in 1996, supported it in 2008, but he lied. The only way that you can believe that he was being real about this is if you're a complete moron and if you don't do your homework. Hopefully, most of you are not morons. You listen to the Jose Soto show, so you must have a little bit of intellectual complexity there, somewhere in your head. And let's appreciate that complexity. Let's use the juices in our minds to actually think this through. Alright? Do you want to be throwing bullshit all the time? You want to be stepped all over like this throughout your whole life? That you are going to have these politicians, these politicals, these hacks, these fanatics, right wing, left wing, whatever, that they're going to step all over you to demonize you or use you? I mean, one party, which is the Republican Party, they demonize gays. That's simple. I hate to put it that way simply, but I can go on for hours and explain to you why the Republican parties demonize gay people in a very subtle way. Why do Democrats then use us? That's a whole different thing. But it's still abusive that they use the gay community for their advantage. And that's what they do. So here to basically stuff your face with this video to say to you, hey, you homo, you lesbo, shut up. Alright, we Democrats, we done shit for you, so you better shut the fuck up. Don't tell us shit anymore. Don't tell us that we don't support you. We do! Even though we haven't done shit for you. Alright? We do! And the way that we're going to prove that is when I make a short little video here of how we supported your asses. Now, this video was played, I think it was before Zach Walls came out to do his bit. Now, you have somebody who is decent, normal, not a fanatic, who loves his lesbian moms, his two moms. He's out there pouring his heart out. And then the Democrats, the elite, what do? Is they're going to use this, of course, to get gays to donate money to basically ally ourselves with Wall Street. I mean, both parties are dominated by the Vatican, Wall Street, the City of London, Scottish Freemasonry. You go on and on and on. Who is really dominating these two parties? And they don't really care whether gay marriage is passed or not. What they care is to get you to think that they care about you. And so that way you vote for them so they can keep looting the treasury. So they can keep issuing these 0% interest loans to their buddies in Wall Street so they can use it to gamble in their little makeshift casino that they call the New York Stock Exchange and other places. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Let's play this video. And let's see what it says. I haven't seen it fully, so my reactions will be instantaneous and spontaneous. How about that? Now, here it is, the video. This video supposedly is sold to gay Democrats and gay people in general, that we Democrats have done a good job for the LGBT community with LGBT rights. Really? Alright, let's go ahead and play it.
I could not be prouder of the work that we've done on behalf of the LGBT community. It's no secret that progress has been incredibly difficult. It's about our capacity to love and commit to one another. It's about whether or not we value as a society that love and commitment. It's about our common humanity and our willingness to walk in someone else's shoes. To imagine worrying about a spouse in the hospital with the added fear that you'll have to produce a legal document just to comfort the person you love. To imagine the pain of losing a partner of decades and then discovering that the law treats you like a stranger. We still have a long way to go, but we will get there. My expectation is that when you look back on these years, you will see a time in which we put a stop to discrimination against gays and lesbians. You will see a time in which we as a nation finally recognize relationships between two men or two women as just as real and admirable as relationships between a man and a woman. You will see a nation that's valuing and cherishing these families as we build a more perfect union. Where no matter what you look like or where you come from or who you love, you can dream big dreams.
Alright, so that's the video, and when somebody sent this video to me today, they said, oh, look at this, this is how Obama's gonna get things done. No, it's just his speech at the Human Rights Campaign. Remember when he had that speech? I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah, this speech is from 2 years ago, I think it was. When he went to the Human Rights Campaign, which was back then very elitist, and probably still today a little bit, where they had all the gay bigwigs celebrating Obama and basically sucking his cock with lobster dinner and champagne and all that. And if you're a working class gay man or gay woman, which the majority of us are, you'll see this as basically elitist, right? It's a whole different world. It's not part of our world. It's not part of our reality. That's why these hacks and these fanatics are totally set off in a fantasy land. They're never down to earth. They never have their feet on planet Earth. It's somewhere up in the clouds. And when they see this video, they say, oh, now, ooh, yeah. And then I know that this speech is from 2 years ago. It just goes to show you how the mindset works with these people. So why don't we go ahead and play that again, because I just want to grasp this. Because it's being used as, now there's, Obama now supports gay marriage. Now here's,
I could not
play it
be
again.
prouder of the work that we've done on behalf of the LGBT community.
Alright, now what work is that? I mean, what? Show me! Meat potatoes. Time to deliver, Barack Obama. Time to deliver on your promises. Oh, remember that time when he promised that he was going to sign an executive order to stop and end discrimination within federal contractors? What happened to that? Oh, right. We had a hack by the name of, what's his name? That guy from Washington Post. Anyway, he's a hack for the White House for Obama, and he said you can't have both. You cannot have Obama endorsing gay marriage, nor can you have Obama signing this executive order. Really? I thought he was a leader we can believe with. I thought he's about change. No! It's the same old. And he did promise that in 2008. It was a direct promise to sign an executive order to stop discrimination. He didn't do it. Where is it? Where is it? Show me your cock, Barack Obama. Show me your cock. Oh no, he's gonna show us. Yep, he is gonna show us his cock, but it's for us to suck on it. All right, let's go ahead and. Obama. Oh, he loves the gay community.
It's no secret that progress has been incredibly difficult. It's about our capacity to love and commit to one another. It's about whether or not we value as a society that love and commitment.
Well, I mean, of course we do, but you were telling us in 2008 that you were opposed to gay marriage. Wasn't that the dialogue, that the script that was written back then, 2008? Oh, now's a different time. 4 years has gone by, right? Now that the gays are demanding that I be honest, of course I'm going to be honest now and say what I said in 1996. Oh, I support gay marriage. But Obama loves the gay community.
About our common humanity and our willingness to walk in someone else's shoes. To imagine worrying about a spouse in the hospital with the added fear that you'll have to produce a legal document just to comfort the person you love.
And yet, you could have signed some executive orders to prevent that, right? I mean, we stopped discrimination, and many of these hospitals who take Medicare, which is all of them, Medicare and Medicaid, that they cannot discriminate against gay people. But why don't we take it a step further and say, you cannot just demand a power of attorney when somebody's having a fucking heart attack. Can't do that. But he hasn't signed anything to that effect. So when you go to the hospital and your partner's having a heart attack and he's dying because of all of that hydrogenated, hydrogenated syrup, corn syrup, all that bullshit. Hydrogenated. Sorry, my father was reading the ingredients of, I don't know what it was, of a piece of chocolate that he was eating, and he tried to, he barely knows English, and he's like, hydrogenated. Sorry. It must have been all that corn syrup that will get you fat, and then you have a heart attack, and then what happens? Oh, then they demand the power of attorney while your partner is on the floor and his heart is bursting out of his chest. And you're like, wait, but my partner's dying. Can you save his life? No, we demand the power of attorney first, so you can see him first.
To imagine the pain of losing a partner.
And there are hospitals like that. I've seen that happen before. Right away, I had a friend of mine who, his partner and him were together for 13 years, and they went to the hospital. I have many friends who suffer heart attacks. Some of them have already passed away, unfortunately, but some of them did survive, and one of them was my friend. He was having a heart attack, and his partner couldn't see him right away. He wanted to, be right next to him when they were trying to revive him. And then he wanted to wait out in the hallway, and they said, "Well, who are you?" And I'm his partner. Okay, let me see your. It's like, what the fuck is this? Is this like fucking East Germany or something? Is this Nazi Germany where you have to present your papers? Treated us like what? Like if we're illegal immigrants or something? No. And I've seen this happen, and it still happens to this day, even under Obama. In fact, we had an article about that recently. It happened in Nevada. I think it's still up on the GayReport.net or somewhere in the archives. Look it up, but it'll be there.
And then discovering that the law treats you like a stranger. We still have a long way to go, but we will get there.
When? See, that's the question. Wait. Obama says that we have a long way to go. Long way to go. What the fuck does that mean? We have a long way to go. How long? If you're driving and we're on a road trip and I ask the driver, how long is it till we arrive in California? And he'll be like, it's a long way to go. We'll get there someday. like when? Few hours? 2, 3, 4 hours? And they say this because they don't know. Somebody that says this kind of shit doesn't know, or basically doesn't give a shit. And what he's doing is blowing wind. That's what. That's all what it is. That's all he can do is blow wind. Can't really deliver on the goods. There's no delivery on goods. There's no delivery on goods. All right. We haven't seen anything yet, unless you're from the military. I'll give you that. But that was a whole different story. And I'll tell you, or remind you again, because I have talked about this before. Let me remind you again of what happened in Don't Ask, Don't Tell. But let's do that after this short break, so don't go away. We'll be right back after these short messages. Alright, so let's take another look at this. But it's all bullshit. Again. That, now we see this video and everybody's all gaga and everything. In 2008, they made the similar promises, didn't they? Right? That they were going to stop ENDA. Enact ENDA. Stop DOMA. That's the promise. Remember that promise? What happened to that? Huh? Oh, they're still working on it, right? To stop DOMA and sign an executive order that says, hey, you're gonna treat civil unions, if that's what you want to call it, or gay marriages, the same as a traditional marriage, whatever you want to call it. Again, people are stuck in terms. I'm stuck in action and solutions and actually doing something about this. All right, now let's finish this video again. I want to make some few other points.
My expectation is that when you look back on these years, you will see a time in which we put a stop to discrimination against gays and lesbians.
Except you didn't want to sign that executive order. Jose, he signed the executive order, but he couldn't sign it. He couldn't sign the executive order because the Republicans. Shut up.
You will see a time in which we as a nation finally recognize relationships between two men or two women as just as real and admirable as relationships between a man and a woman.
Yeah, but before 2008, wait, let me see the, 2004, he came out against gay marriage. 2006, he reaffirmed, and in 2008, he said no, right? No to gay marriage. 2009, he remained quiet. 2010, again, he tried to avoid the issue. 2011, again, avoiding the issue. 2012 is an election year. Oh no! He come out for gay marriage.
A nation that's valuing and cherishing these families as we build a more perfect union. Where no matter what you look like or where you come from or who you love, you can dream big dreams.
You can dream big dreams, whatever that means. What are those dreams, by the way? The dreams that we have, if you really just sit down and think about this and ask yourself, what are my dreams? What do I want to accomplish in my life? There are a lot of things. Economic security, or shall we say, economic independence. That's a big thing for me. I know for a lot of you it is too. Economic independence. Love. Relationships, etc., etc. I can devote a whole show on what the meaning of life is and what we get out of it, or what we should get out of it. But the government cannot give us that. The government cannot make us happy. Never. It can only make us, help us stay alive. That's the only thing it can do. It can consume as well, but sometimes it's really hard for it to deliver. That's why you have Barack Obama, who has a really shady past. Let me just say that. Let me bring that up now. Can we? Shady past. Doesn't want to give us his transcripts from his college years. We want to know exactly who his teachers were, his professors, what courses he took, what his GPA was. Don't you want to know what his GPA was? I mean, we were pretty interested in what Bush's GPA was, and that was pretty lame, right? He was a 2.0 student. I was a 3.0 student. And you can be a 2.0 student and be a president. How about that? No, all I'm saying is just, if you have nothing to hide, just go ahead and tell us everything that we want to know. I'm just curious, aren't you? Don't you want to know who Barack's influences were in college up to this day? Because I'm still pretty much influenced by some of my professors who were pretty smart. And it had nothing really much to do with politics, but more with philosophy. But that's a whole different story. But we want to know who his professors were. Why can't we demand that? Is it a sin? Is it a crime? I will do that with mittens. And I want to see his tax returns too. I want to see his tax returns. I want to see his transcripts. I want to know who he partnered with and his business and all of his money. Where did it go, by the way? It's all offshore. Let me just say that. He's part of the cabal, of the offshore banker cabal. And what they want to do is basically continue to loot the treasury, make the middle class disappear, have them fight the upper middle class so they can blame it on them, and then they'll take the fall. And then the rich elite, and now I'm not even talking about the 1%. The 1% is trying to, the 1% rich people of this country are trying very hard to survive as well. And most of them actually reinvest in the country, reinvest in opening new factories and businesses and all that. I have no beef with the 1%. I have a beef with the 1% of the 1%, the really, really small minority of people with the super uber wealth and power that they have over the country. A small minority of families control this country. I'm talking about the controllers. I'm not talking about rich people. Rich people are not a threat. What is a threat is when they try to wield power with their wealth. Instead of contributing to society, many rich people actually do contribute to society. But there are a lot of rich, super rich, who are the controllers of this country, who don't contribute to society, who basically want to tear it up. And they are in both parties. Just to let you know. I know some of you gay liberals are very much against oligarchy and Wall Street takeover, but that's what the Democrats have pretty much done. And Republicans will do it even more. Yes, they will. But you're not perfect. Your party's not perfect. Your party has failed in many instances. So don't give me this bullshit that, Republicans are bad. Really. I know they're bad. Does that make you good? That's the question. Now, here's another question. Where are the meat and potatoes of the LGBT supposed successes? The president, El Presidente, is touting Don't Ask, Don't Tell repeal. Alright, what happened there? You have now military members of the gay community who are now active in the military, soldiers of all branches, are now able to come out of the closet. Now, that's fine. That's really good. That's a nice step forward. But now, what about the privileges, the rights that soldiers get and their spouses? When you become a member of the military, you get certain benefits and privileges. And that includes those privileges that are extended to your spouse if you're a member of the military or if you're a veteran. If your boyfriend is in the military and you cannot get married, and DOMA says you can't get married, it won't recognize your marriage, and the president refuses to do anything about that, he refuses to even have an executive order within the military to say, look, we know we have DOMA, we know we cannot really recognize these marriages, but we will give you the same responsibilities and benefits and privileges are given to married spouses in the military. Why don't we do that? No, we can't do that, can we? We can't show any leadership. I mean, they're talking about leadership. They're talking about the future, how we're going to lead the country into a better, inclusive world. But yet, there's no action. There's nothing that we can point to that. Only lies. Now, the repeal of the nationale was about not to happen. But the reason why it happened, and some of you gay Republicans might say, oh, it's because of, what's-her-face, Susan Collins and Joe Lieberman, Olympia Snow, and Scott Brown, whatever. No, it had to do it because the Pentagon really wanted this. They were sick and tired of this. There was huge blackmailing going on within the military brass. Yes, there were. If you actually do your homework and really investigate what happened within the Pentagon, why they wanted this so bad was because they were sick and tired of all of these sexual harassment lawsuits. They were sick and tired of the blackmailing that was going on and all this. So they had to get rid of this policy. So they did. And the reason why they did this because the military, the Pentagon, went up there, both Secretary of State, who was a Republican, and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Admiral Mike Mullen, he went up to these Republicans and said, if you don't do this, things are going to get so bad within the military upper brass that you're not going to like it. Things were set to get this done, and it got done. And yes, it benefited many gay soldiers as well. Not just the upper brass who were gay, but the ones who were the average infantry and soldiers. That was done by the Pentagon. They were the ones that made that investigation, and they did the report. They took 6 months to do this survey thing, and they had to put it all together and package it for these Republicans. And that's what happened. It was the Pentagon who did all the work. And it was Barack Obama that put his name on it. That's what happened. It was the Pentagon that tried very hard to do this, and it was the Pentagon that had to train all the personnel. It took 6 months for them to train people, and that's what happened. And all this was almost not going to happen because they were stalling over the Obamacare and then other things, and you had, what's his name, Harry Reid, didn't really give a shit. And it was pretty much dead. But the Pentagon came by with the defibrillator and boom, started up again. And that's why they couldn't do anything to it until a day before Christmas. They didn't do it right before Christmas, or they didn't do it during a regular session. And that goes to show you how devoted this guy was, right? Nothing. He gave us nothing. Where are the meat and potatoes? Show me the meat and potatoes. You don't have any to show, so shut up. Don't come over and tell me, Jose, Democrat, blah, blah, blah. Show it to me first. Do it. What do you mean it's it's a long road ahead, we didn't know when to get there, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. Just do it. What's so difficult on just doing it? If you can't do it, then tell us. Say, hey, I can't do this because now I know I promised it, but now I figured out that, oh, wait a minute. That's being an honest politician, as if that exists. It doesn't exist. Oh, but Jose, but Jose, Obama. Oh. Fuck Obama. I'm sorry, I have to say that. And people get angry when I say that. You have been brainwashed. I mean, look at these videos and messages and all this. You know, they're using the veterans and that makes me emotional. Yes, that we have veterans and that went through hell, and some of them have been injured or they died, and their families have lost their loved ones in these senseless wars that both Republicans and Democrats support. Yes, that really gets to me. But I'm not gonna just say, because now I'm getting a tear in my eye, now I have to vote for Obama. No. That's using your emotions. You have to use logic here. And you cannot say, well, now that he supports gay marriage, everything's fine. No, that doesn't mean squat. He's just blowing bubbles in his milk. That's all he's doing. Doing nothing. It's basically meaningless unless there's some action to it. Now, the Democrats had 2009 through 2011, before the teabaggers came in and took over Congress, they had every ample opportunity to repeal DOMA. Did they do it? No. They had ample opportunity to enact ENDA. Did they do it? No. They had ample time to sign an executive order so that way federal contractors won't discriminate against gays in the federal government. Did they do it? No. No. I'm just pointing at what they didn't do. You can point at what they did, supposedly. And you might say, well, Jose, look at what they did in Uganda, and they stopped that hideous kill the gays bill. Okay, that's pretty simple. All you have to do is make a phone call and say, hey, if you pass this bill, we're gonna do many things to you that you're not gonna like. Not to you, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull out our soldiers from Ethiopia and from the area in Somalia, and leave you guys by yourselves. See what happens when all these tribal, ravaging, bloodthirsty, Coney-type generals are they're in the forest there. Let's see what happens when they see you defenseless without any American military support. You see, that's the way that you do it. You don't go moping around. No, now they're gonna pass this hideous law. Yeah, of course. Stop it. Use every guerrilla tactic to be able to stop those kind of laws in other countries. And I'm not saying that we should invade countries or we should obstruct their political process. I'm not saying that, but there are many options on the table. And the U.S. is a very powerful nation. We have the world's currency reserve, the dollar. We have a very powerful military. We can do a lot of things if we really put political will to it. If the gays would just stop whining and actually do something. Pressure this president. Pressure him. You say, you know what? If you don't do this, we're out. It's over. It's done. And I know we've done this little, well, most of it was theatrical. These little threats that we made to the president, to Obama. But it didn't work. It was all just BS. So that's my take on all this shit. Really? Obama. Oh, shut up. Anyway, that's my take on this whole DNC convention. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Jose Soto Show. And also you can follow me on Twitter if you like. The Real Jose Soto is my screen name. And you can also visit my blog, therealjosesoto.blogspot.com. And we will see you next time. Don't forget that we will be continually be uploading more extras and a little bit of rants that I have here, and some snippets, and whatever else comes into my mind, I'll upload it and have it up for you on YouTube. This is the Jose Soto Show. I'm your host, Jose Soto. Thank you for listening. Have a good night and take care.